BlackRock is adopting Ethereum for its tokenization. Mark Yusko is going to get into it. This is pretty big, guys. Listen up.
Well, I think the key here, as we see, disruptive technologies that you're alluding to really kind of start to take hold around the whole process of the financial system. And I think the difference, and I've talked about this before, is this is now money. This is no longer, the disruptive technologies of the internet, even though that really disrupted communication, which is another big issue that we're now facing, including all governments around the world, around freedom of speech. This was a good tweet here from Scott Melker over there at Wolf of Wall Street. Shout out to Scott. BlackRock is launching their tokenized asset fund on Ethereum. At the same time, they seeded with $100 million.
Pretty crazy.
They're launching this on Ethereum. You would think that Larry might have Gensler on the phone and say, listen here, what do we got going on here with investigations that are frivolous against what we're doing here to change
BlackRock? Investigations that are frivolous. Mark and Paul, if you missed my last video where we kind of talked about ETHgate, right? They're not frivolous, right? Ethereum was raising money to build out their platform, right? Which is basically, it's a security. It's 100% a security, okay? The way that they raise money, the way that they covered it up, the way that they paid off a government official to give them a free pass, that is all baggage. You can't say that's nothing, right? Or maybe these guys don't know, or maybe Paul doesn't know, and Mark just is like, hey man, I bought Ethereum at $1. Let's let this thing go to 10 grand, right? I don't know what the overall feelings are between these two guys, but there isn't just nothing there. There's something substantial there that if it's looked at very closely, it's all backed by fact, right? People have dug this stuff up for years and posted it all over Twitter and on YouTube, and I've made countless videos on this, right? So it's not just nothing.
BlackRock is going to do what BlackRock is going to do.
Very true.
Yeah.
They are the largest asset manager in the world. I told people for a year that there was no question in my mind. As soon as they announced they were going after the Bitcoin ETF, not only was it going to get approved, they were going to be first. Right. Now, they decided to crown them all at the same time. Bitcoin BlackRock has applied for an ETF in Ethereum as well. I think the challenge now is who has the bigger, stick, shall we say. And
BlackRock is a multi-trillion-dollar asset manager, right? But it's the US government, right? Doesn't matter how big you are, you're the US government. It doesn't get any bigger than that, and the resources that you have are endless. They are endless. So if something does come up, which there is something, if they really wanted to focus and drill down on it, they will drill down on it. And there's nothing that BlackRock can do to stop them. Sure, they can put the pressure on, right? Larry Fink can make a phone call and say, hey, I want this done. But at the end of the day, Gary Gensler is going to do what Gary Gensler wants to do, and nobody's going to be able to control that. Maybe there's an election in November, and maybe another side wins. Maybe it's not Biden, V2. Maybe Trump wins again, and there's a new SEC chair comes in, and maybe he looks at all of this and says, I don't want to deal with this. Maybe I'll take a payoff, right? Before we'll take another payoff, but it's not nothing.
Everything is political. Appointments of these, unelected people are by the current administration that happens to appoint them. It happens to be an election year. So look, Ms. Warren is pretty anti all of this. Why?
Yeah. And she's connected to Gary.
Well, my thesis, I won't put words in her mouth, but my thesis is you look at her largest campaign contributors. They happen to be large financial institutions that have a great deal at stake if they are disrupted. So it's not surprising to me that she would craft legislation to slow down the disruptive technology. Okay, the fact that it's an election year and that she's, show me who said it, show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. That is the way the world has always worked. And here's the problem, political problem, as I see it. It costs, from what I've read and studied, about $100 million to secure a Senate seat in the United States.
Wow.
$100 million. Most of us don't have that. So if we want to run, unless your name is Meg Whitman, who spent $103 million or $108 million, I can't remember, of her own money. Yeah. She lost, unfortunately, but she spent over $100 million of her own money. Unless you're her or someone like her, you have to raise $100 million. Well, it turns out if people write you $1, $10, $20, $50 million checks, Paul, they expect something.
Yeah.
And that's the way our system works in a world where you allow unlimited contributions to, PACs and super PACs. So either fix campaign finance and make people so they're not on the payroll of special interests, or do term limits like the old days, right? And when the founders or the framers set it up, 2 years, you left the farm, you went, you served, and then you went back. You didn't stay for 6 or 8 or 10 or 50. You stayed for 2. And maybe 2's too short. Maybe we need 4 or 6. I don't know what the right number is, but it didn't 20, it didn't 40, and it didn't 50.
Yeah, like.
And it's also vitality, right? You know, when are you the most vital? When are you the most, I hate to say it, but I watched some speeches of our current president when he was 35. I'm like, yeah, right on. I agree with you. I don't say that now.
Yeah, it's a different guy. It's a different guy for sure. All right. So,
I mean, to wrap this whole thing up, right? At the end of the day, your BlackRocks are probably going to always win. And it's true. There needs to be some term limits on some of these lifers in Congress, right? They're not really helping out what's currently happening in today's world. They're living in the past. And I think that could be said with on both sides of the aisle, right? But at the end of the day, BlackRock is going to get what BlackRock wants. The SEC and Ethereum, that is a very interesting combination right now, right? And what's going to happen about this? You know, is Ethereum going to actually be investigated? Has there been an investigation already? What has been uncovered, right? Are we going to find that information out? Or is this going to be like, all right, we'll sweep this under the rug. You know, Ethereum gets their second free pass and Ethereum takes over the world. It's either going to be Ethereum is, you know, not shut down, but Ethereum is seriously tarnished by investigations, or Ethereum goes to $10,000 or $20,000 eventually. Those are the two options that we have right now, right? So what's it going to be, guys? Is Ethereum headed to the moon, or is Ethereum in some hot water, right? With ETHgate and everything else that happened. I don't know. It's exciting times, right? I currently am not investing money into Ethereum. Whether they get approved or not, I'm not here for a 2-3x at this current price. There's a lot of other assets in crypto that you could get into that are still going to do a 10x, maybe even a 50 or 100x, depending on where you get into some of those projects, right? There's so many projects right now. I get sent maybe 20 to 30 projects a week. It's hard for me to keep up with all of them, and I can't invest in everything. And I think that's what you should try to understand too. There's going to be assets that you're not going to be able to buy that are going to go up in price, but you should be focused on the things that you can actually control and what you actually want to be in getting into, right? Of course, none of this is financial advice. Seek a financial advisor. Make sure they understand what crypto is and all the great things that blockchain has to offer. But at the end of the day, you need to make a decision what assets you're getting into and what your plan is for those assets. If you don't have a plan and you're just going to buy and you're like, sell when it goes down, that's not a plan. Okay, have take profit areas where you're going to get out of an asset at certain areas, or you're going to hold that asset forever. And when the market goes down again, you're going to lose a lot more, right? There's a lot of people in crypto that actually just lose money. There's very few people that actually make a ton of money in crypto. And if you want to be one of those people that is successful and makes a lot of money, you need to have a plan. All right, guys, hope you liked the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.